Charlie Chaplin by Andrew Salerno. Today we'll be exploring the works, life, and history of Charlie Chaplin, while also getting some sneak peeks at his never-before unreleased film reels. Here we see Charles Chaplin on the set of his never-before-released movie, Larry Poppins, about a magical nanny and the two children she takes care of in London, England. Charles Spencer Chaplin was born in London, England on April 16, 1889. His father was a vocalist and an actor, and his mother was a respected opera singer. By the age of just 10 years old, sadly his father had died and his mother had fallen ill. Charlie and his brother Sidney used their creative talents to fend for themselves on the streets. At just age 12, he performed in his first stage show as the page boy in Sherlock Holmes. He dabbled in comedy afterwards, which earned him a spot overseas as a feature play with the Fred Karno Repertoire Company in the United States of America. He was a huge hit with American audiences, and his success quickly led to a movie contract offer. In November 1913, Charlie entered the cinema world when he joined Mack Sennett and the Keystone Film Company. By 1915, he was the hottest comedian and showman Hollywood had seen in a long time, and he was impossible to get a hold of. The next year, he joined the Mutual Film Corporation for a much larger sum, and made 12 films in 1 year. Here we see Mr. Chaplin on set of his film, Larry Poppins, giving the interviewee a tour of the orchestra, the seating arrangements. Here we see Mr. Chaplin playing around in the prop room, showing off the many possible gags that could have been on camera, but never made it to the big screen. Now, after his contract ended with Mutual Film, he started his own studio so he could have full control and access as an actor, producer, and artistic director. In 1918, Chaplin entered into an arrangement with First National Exhibitors Circuit, an organization specifically used to exploit his films to the public. Some of Chaplin's most famous films were ones such as The Kid. His first full-length feature is a silent masterpiece that he directed, produced, and starred in, as well as producing the score. A Woman of Paris, his first serious film, Chaplin quickly began a scandalous affair with Lolita McMurray, and 6 months into shooting, Lita discovered she was pregnant. Chaplin was forced into a miserable marriage, though it produced 2 sons, Charles Jr. and Sidney Chaplin. The Gold Rush, Chaplin's favorite film. He declared several times that this was the film for which he most wanted to be remembered for. The City Lights. Although sound films were increasing in popularity at the time, Chaplin decided to keep it silent. It's often considered one of the greatest films ever made. The Dictator. This was Chaplin's first true sound film. It created a stirring, controversial condemnation of Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, fascism, and the Nazis. Chaplin played both of the leading parts, a ruthless fascist dictator and a persecuted Jewish barber. Chaplin went on to produce many films later in life, but left a lasting impression on pop culture, the film industry, and society.